Did somebody say Bombshell? Big one. That's right. Tesla has just reported their Q2 2023 earnings, and Elon Musk has dropped an absolute bomb on the earnings call. Unless, of course, you happen to be a Patreon supporter who's had access to my Tesla valuation model, in which case you knew this was going to happen all the way back in 2021. But for everyone who didn't have access to my valuation model, and if you'd like to change that, click the link at the pinned comment. It's available to supporters at the investor level and above. This is enormous news that massively moves the needle for Tesla that literally every analyst in Wall Street is going to completely ignore. First, quick highlights from the earnings report itself, then to the earnings call. And once again, if you'd like to support the channel and or access that valuation model, which continues to age like a fine wine, check the link in the pinned comment, join Patreon, and while you're at it, why not subscribe over on Twitter too? There's loads of exclusive content there as well. First, some quick highlights from the earnings report itself, then we'll get on to the call. Tesla continuing to embarrass the entire quote-unquote automotive industry, 9.6% operating margin despite incredible headwinds, $3.1 billion in non-GAAP net income, operating cash flow, $3.1 billion, a $700 million increase in cash and investments. Tesla now has $23.1 billion in cash and cash equivalents and almost zero debt. Don't want to go out on a limb too much here, but I think it's fair to say Tesla at this point in time are, in essence, financially bulletproof. Even if asteroids wiped out multiple gigafactories, they'd still be fine. There are very few other companies on the planet for which this is also true. Cybertruck factory tooling is on track, and Model Y, congratulations, became the best-selling vehicle globally in Q1, as Tesla told us would happen years ago. A couple of quick highlights here. Automotive revenues up 46% year over year. Total revenues up 47%. Operating expenses up a mere 21%. So think about this for a moment. We're seeing more operating leverage here. As Tesla's business scales up and they bring in more revenue, their expenses are not scaling up in the same proportion. In short, the bigger Tesla gets, and remember, they've still got a 10x or so in their production to get to their long-term goal of 20 million vehicles per year. Bigger they scale, the more money they print. This quarter, Tesla experienced a negative foreign exchange impact of $600 million. A couple of headwinds as well. Reduced average selling price due to mix and pricing of vehicles sold. The cost of production ramp for the 4680 cells also dragging on profitability. And then, of course, there were increased operating expenses driven by Cybertruck, AI, and other large projects. And again, Tesla's quarter-end cash equivalents, and investments increased to $23.1 billion in Q2. Tesla's total production up 86% year over year. A notable change to Tesla's installed annual vehicle capacity now. Berlin listed at 375,000 units. No greater than symbol. What does this mean? It appears that the stage 1 of Gigafactory Berlin is now complete. If you missed the news, new plans have appeared online for the next stage. And I still believe, as I've been saying from the outset, that long-term Giga Berlin will do 2+ million vehicles per year. It's being built out in stages. We can also see Tesla's market share by region trailing 12 months, about 4% now in the US and Canada. This is the automotive market, not electric vehicles. Europe approaching 3% and China now in excess of 2%. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Cumulative miles driven with FSD beta, absolute surge starting in early 2023. And remember, miles driven is a proxy for data collected, and data collected is how you solve this very difficult challenge. More on that with the notes in the earnings call in just a moment. Tesla once again reiterating their internal projections for Dojo compute power by the end of next year, not even. Tesla aiming for 100 exaflops of compute, and that's just Tesla compute. This isn't including NVIDIA chips, just Tesla's own in-house compute. But remember, Tesla's just a car company, so I don't know why they would need all these exaflops of compute. Can anyone explain that to me in the comments below? Energy storage deployments remain very lumpy and volatile, but the trend, very obvious, to the moon. We can see Tesla's service and other gross margin now approaching 10%. Tesla themselves have said they're not really trying to make huge profits off this, but you do want every aspect, every arm of the business, so to speak, to be self-sustaining and profitable in it's own right. Tesla once again doubling down. We are planning to grow production as quickly as possible in alignment with the 50% compound annual growth rate target we began guiding to in early 2021. For 2023, we expect to remain ahead of the long-term 50% compound annual growth rate with around 1.8 million vehicles for the year. And again, more on this in the earnings call notes. Big update. Over time, we expect our hardware-related profits to be accompanied by an acceleration of AI, software, and fleet-based profits. Did somebody say fleet? I've been talking about this for a while. It's been in my Tesla valuation model for a while. I actually keep track of the global fleet of Tesla vehicles. Why? They are, in essence, future money printers. Any Tesla on roads today, 6 months, 3 years, 8 years from now, can bring in further software-like profits, upgrades, updates, software subscriptions, products and services, and so on. Think of Tesla's fleet like global active users. This is an important number to pay attention to over the long term. The size of Tesla's vehicle fleet. And one final note here, we continue to make progress on our next generation platform. A couple of quick photos here. Cybertruck testing underway. Absolutely love to see this. I cannot wait until these things hit roads and work sites. The world is not ready. And despite the claims of people who judge a book by its cover, the Cybertruck is actually built to do real work. This is a shot of the Cybertruck production line at Giga, Texas. And once again, congratulations to the team in Austin, Texas for the first Cybertruck produced. And finally, my favorite slide every time, always, trailing 12 months. The trend is your friend. Vehicle deliveries. Notice a trend, up. Operating cash flow and free cash flow, despite insane economic headwinds, interest rates through the roof, economic uncertainty, Tesla's still printing crazy amounts of money while investing insane amounts of money in huge growth projects. It still blows my mind how much money this company is printing despite the crazy investments and their headwinds at such a tiny scale relative to where they're ultimately headed. So let's run through my notes from the earnings call. Quick caveat. 1, quotes are not verbatim, just tried to capture the gist of what was said. 2, there's probably a lot of typos. And 3, I'm sure autocorrect's f***ed me a couple of times. So let's get into it. First of all, Elon's opening remarks. Tesla had records across the board, record production, deliveries, and revenue. And spoiler alert, they'll say the same thing just about every quarter for the entire decade. As we know, huge milestone, Model Y, now the best-selling vehicle of any kind on the entire planet in the first quarter of 2023. And this is quite an achievement, considering that typically the best-selling vehicles are significantly cheaper to purchase. I wonder what happens when Tesla releases their next-generation half-price vehicle. Any ideas? This came in spite of high interest rates and loads of macroeconomic uncertainty. Tesla operating margin close to 10%, embarrassing other just-to-car companies globally. Tesla's still on track for 1.8 million vehicles this year, although more on that in a moment. Tesla's Q3 production will be a lot lower due to factory upgrades across the planet. Tesla doing significant upgrades at practically every factory they've got in Q3. I wonder why Tesla would be doing major upgrades to all of their factories in Q3. Tesla actually guided to have less vehicles produced in Q3 versus Q2. These are some serious upgrades. We also heard that long term, the economy, when it recovers, is going to drive volume through the ceiling, like next level. And obviously, we'll discuss this. The shit's hitting the fan, yet Tesla's still selling through all production with industry-leading profit margins. Just imagine when people aren't worried about interest rates, recession, their mortgage repayments, losing a job, and so on. Elon also mentioned that future dedicated robo-taxi products have quasi-infinite demand. Key words here. Dedicated robo-taxi products. So, spoiler alert. My assumption here, we're going to have a compact robotaxi platform and also a van, something along those lines, and maybe variations on the compact. Time will tell, but Tesla now repeating the term dedicated robotaxi platforms, plural. And the key words there are dedicated robotaxi. Read between the lines. Elon also pointing out that the way we're going to manufacture the robotaxi itself is revolutionary. The product has a revolutionary design, and it's made in a revolutionary way. How unlike Tesla. And more on the next-gen robotaxi platform. It will be by far the highest units of production per hour of any vehicle. And remember, Tesla's already producing vehicles in give or take about a third the time of other automotive manufacturers with the current generation, not the next generation. Yikes. Regarding full self-driving, more data equals more results. Elon was giving some examples. In terms of neural network training, if you have maybe 1 million examples, it might kind of work. 2 million examples, maybe a little bit better. But at some point, when you get enough data, for example, maybe 10 million training examples, suddenly its capabilities become incredible. There's just no substitute for massive amounts of data. And Tesla is collecting data at perhaps an order of magnitude faster than all others combined, which obviously means that every company trying to solve autonomy will eventually catch up to Tesla because data doesn't matter and Tesla's not collecting a lot more faster than everyone else. So nothing to see here. The Dojo training computer, currently in production, is actually designed to significantly reduce the cost of neural network training. Elon also confirming, just like with the battery cells, they're making their own in-house, but also will still take as many as they can get from other companies. Tesla expects to use both NVIDIA and Dojo chips. We see demand for vast training resources. Again, we may reach 100 exaflops of internal training capacity at the end of next year. Still don't understand why a car company would need so much compute. Thus far, 300 million miles have been driven on FSD beta, and soon that will be a lot more. Elon also repeating something he said many times in the past, that FSD will ultimately become better than a human driver and then vastly better, e.g. 10 times safer than a human. And it won't stop there. Tesla clearly at the cutting edge of AI. Just don't tell Craig Irwin. And as we know, Cybertruck production candidates are now being made in Austin. Big news. It's going to take a long time to ramp production, of course. However, when this thing is ramped up, look the out. Tesla now has over 50,000 connectors and over 5,000 supercharging locations globally. And the bombshell of bombshells, in his opening remarks, Elon Musk confirming, we want to emphasize we are very open to licensing FSD. And here's the big one, are already in early discussions with a major OEM about licensing FSD. This is huge, a massive needle mover. Now, I do have to because, I just have to. This was so obvious that it's been in my publicly available Tesla valuation model since it was published first in November 2021. If you're a Patreon subscriber and you're an OG, if you got access to the first version I uploaded, feel free to fact check me right now. You'll see a row in that very first valuation model, which includes Tesla FSD licensing. And prior to publishing this valuation model, I still had Tesla FSD licensing. It's just nobody had access, so you'll just have to take my word for that. But in either case, it is a matter of public record. Almost 2 years ago, I called this publicly. Here we are. Now, why did I know? How did I know? Pretty simple. The unassailable data lead. Remember me saying that a trillion times? Unassailable data lead. It's true. It's inevitable. I knew this would happen. It is kind of embarrassing that other automotive manufacturers have been and still continue to pursue their own attempts at autonomy when it's obvious they're going to fail and end up licensing FSD from Tesla anyway. Like, really embarrassing. But this is huge news. This fact has now been disclosed to Tesla investors. A major OEM is in early discussions with Tesla about licensing FSD. The discussion's probably like this. Yo, Elon, we have realized that we're going to need to license this stuff. We're not ready yet, but we're keeping an eye on it. When's the right time? Should we wait until we get regulatory approval, or what do we do here? We want to be first in line. We'll make the announcement. What do we pay? What's the deal? Let's negotiate. Let's figure it out. Let's be ready. I think what's going to happen is once the capabilities of FSD reach a certain point, whether this is via regulatory approval, the first robotaxi fair taking place somewhere, this major OEM wants to be first in line to make the announcement. They're probably already figuring out where to place sensors on new vehicles produced. So stay tuned. This is going to be huge. And yes, the floodgates will open. This will be the first of many. Now, I don't know exactly when the announcement's going to happen, but this is huge. Now, I don't have a time machine or a crystal ball. My valuation model seems to suggest otherwise, though, but this was super obvious. That said, if you would like access to my 10-year Tesla valuation model, a lot of assumptions that seem to be coming to fruition one after another, head over to Patreon. My valuation model is available to supporters at the investor level and above. And like I said, Tesla licensing FSD has been in there since the valuation model was first published all the way back in 2021. I ain't surprised, motherfuckers. Now, CFO Zach Kirkhorn's opening remarks, confirming once again records all over the place. Same story just about every quarter throughout the entire decade, so no one should be surprised about that. Regarding Tesla's financial approach, the priority is to ensure that Tesla continues to invest heavily in core technology that will drive the business, e.g. FSD, Optimus, Dojo, Cybertruck, the next gen platform, Tesla Semi, plus continued capacity expansion. And normalizing for one-time factors, Tesla actually realized a per unit cost improvement in nearly every category of the business this quarter. Also, Megapack economics are improving. Now onto the Q&A. Regarding the 4680 cells in Texas, there was an 80% quarter-over-quarter production increase in cells. 80% quarter-over-quarter? That's insane. Analyze that. What the actual f***? And that reduced costs by 25% per cell. Tesla's also made some high energy density improvements and should be at a comfortable per cell cost by the end of this year, or maybe it was next year. I can't remember and can't be bothered rewinding. Someone fact check me on that. Let me know in the comments below. What did they say? End of this year or end of next year? Energy business continues to grow fast. Don't sleep on Tesla Energy. Also, confirmation that AutoBidder has software-like margins, but it's a small contributor to overall financials. For those who don't know, AutoBidder is basically Tesla's energy money printer. It's like a high-frequency energy trading algorithm, like literally. Tesla also recently passed 500,000 Powerwalls installed globally. Regarding IRA battery credits, Tesla once again confirming they're looking at $150 to $250 million per quarter this year, and that includes 50-50 sharing of credits with Panasonic, who are producing most of Tesla's current battery cells. So think about this. As Tesla ramps up their 4680 cell production in the United States, there's no 50-50 share of the IRA credits on the battery cells that Tesla's making. So as their own cells represent a larger portion of all cells being produced and used, more money. Won't be long before Tesla is receiving in excess of $1 billion per year in IRA battery credits. Not bad. And some news that will excite many people. FSD transferability. In Q3 2023, Tesla is offering one-time amnesty where customers can transfer FSD from an existing Tesla to a new vehicle. It's a one-time deal, so anyone sitting on an older Tesla who wants to upgrade and bring FSD across, now's the time. Elon Musk also emphasizing that the Cybertruck ramp will move as fast as the slowest part, all 10,000 of them. If you can't read between the lines, don't expect any meaningful volume on Cybertruck anytime this year. It's probably going to take the majority of next year to really start ramping up to decent volumes as well. It's a whole new technology. A vehicle's never been made before like this. They're entering absolutely uncharted territory. So keep that in mind. Don't expect it to ramp as fast as, say, a new Model Y line at a new factory. So far, Tesla has made 5 to 10 Optimus bots, depending on how you count them. Can't find anything off the shelf to use in a humanoid robot that's actually useful. So the first Tesla bot with fully Tesla-made actuators, probably November this year. And Elon expects that maybe next year, Tesla humanoid robots will be able to do some useful work in Tesla factories worldwide. Also, a side note, by combining a Neuralink implant plus robotic arms or legs, Tesla could really help millions of amputees globally. Wasn't expecting to hear this on the call, but it's a good point. There are millions of people today, amputated arms and or legs, or both. Just imagine, once Tesla has nailed the humanoid arm, leg, etc., the actuators are nailed. It's very functional. Then you have the Neuralink implant that control this thing. Things are going to get very interesting. Regarding vehicle pricing and the economy, when interest rates go up, we have to reduce the prices of vehicles. Fancy that. And in other news, the sky's blue. Elon Musk also said this: I care a lot about the small shareholders, especially those who have stuck with us through thick and thin. I love you guys. The feeling's mutual. This is why I recommend against margin loans in times that are turbulent. Elon Musk saying that long term, he sees a path to a 10x and then corrects himself and says, call it a 5x, maybe a 10x in the valuation of the company. The old adage of buy and hold is right. Find a company with great products who look like they'll continue to make great products that you love. Buy, hold, long term, you will win. I personally think he's right. Unsurprisingly, Tesla once again needing to point out that regarding their automotive gross margins this quarter, next quarter, aka who gives a fuck, the short-term variances really are minor relative to the long-term picture. Autonomy will make these numbers, as in gross automotive margins and Tesla's current profits, look silly by comparison. Elon Musk also encouraged investors to check out ARK's research on autonomy. Completely agree. Elon Musk also pointing out, if the market panics, cry like a little bitch in the corner and panic sell your stock too. Oh wait, no, that's not what he said. No, I think what he said, oh yeah, that's right. What he said was, if the market panics, buy. Another quote here, autonomy is really where it's at. Again, I mean, you've heard me saying this for how long now? It's like, hello, who gives a shit about the auto margins, bro? Autonomy, hello. They're on the cusp of so. You've heard it a million times. Not going to repeat myself. Quote, frankly, I think it's ridiculous that we have positive cash flow while investing massive amounts in new technology expansion, blah, blah, blah. And it's true. I've thought about this a lot. It is insane what Tesla's doing behind the scenes. They've built one of the world's best AI teams, some of the world's best real-world AI, in fact, the world's best real-world AI, developed their own battery cells. They're building multiple factories, new vehicle platforms. All this stuff is happening at the same time, and they're still printing crazy money. How? Tesla's incredible resourcefulness is not widely appreciated. I mean, when this company hits scale and we start to see the payoff for these crazy investments, you ain't seen nothing yet. And hilarious quote regarding vertical integration. We actually make our shit. An Elon classic. Now, some institutional investors. Tesla confirming that they'll be spending north of $1 billion in the next year on Dojo. And an important point, in order to copy us, as in regarding autonomy, you need to spend billions of dollars on training compute, and you need the data. More proof that all the other companies trying to solve autonomy will definitely catch up to Tesla. This is one of the hardest problems ever, which also confirms how easy it will be for all these other companies to catch up and why no other company will end up licensing Tesla FSD when they realize their attempts at solving autonomy themselves are futile. Elon also pointing out that a self-driving car is way harder than large language models. And how would we know this? Well, if these large language models were so great, why aren't these companies solving autonomy instead of Tesla? Elon also pointing out that long-term, FSD might actually get to be 100 times safer than human drivers. I think over a long enough time scale, this is inevitable. We also heard that there's other applications for Dojo, but Tesla currently desperately needs it for video training alone. Spoiler alert, Dojo is a service. Just you wait. And if we had more training compute, we would get autonomy done faster. Something 100 exaflops of compute next year. I'm sure it's nothing. Autonomy could create a 5 times increase in asset value due to higher utilization of said asset, aka vehicles, and things are going to get very interesting when autonomy is solved. I just don't know how this plays out, honestly. I don't know. I just don't know. And from the boy who cried wolf, I think we'll be better than human by the end of this year in terms of the capabilities of their FSD software. And that doesn't mean approved by regulators. It just means better than a human. Regulatory approval obviously is going to take longer. Regarding XAI and Tesla, the collaboration, these two companies will enhance the value of Tesla. And Elon pointed something out quite interesting. Some of the best AI engineers that he was interviewing to join Tesla didn't want to join Tesla. It's a big company. Instead, they explicitly wanted to join an AI startup company. Next minute, Elon's like, oh, f*** it, I'll just start an AI company so I can hire these motherfuckers. Confirmation that XAI is focused on AGI. And by the way, there will be some value that XAI brings to Tesla. Also, the world's best people want to work on interesting problems. Now, I have a hypothesis here. From the moment XAI was announced, I saw on their website, there was some connection to Tesla. That's interesting. Let me think about this. Oh, the data. Spoiler alert. What are the odds that XAI in the future will be paying Tesla for access to its data and or the technology developed for FSD? I think the odds are greater than zero. Let's just leave it at that. Regarding geopolitical risk, e.g. shit hitting the fan in certain parts of the world, I can't think of the most likely place that would occur. Things aren't obviously coming to a head anywhere at this point in time. No, but for real though, the way that Tesla navigates and avoids major geopolitical risk, e.g. a factory being shut down, halted, blown up, etc., is by having factories all the fuck over the planet, which I've discussed at length. Let's just say hypothetically that the Shanghai factory suddenly out of absolutely nowhere was no longer able to produce vehicles. It would suck, but Tesla already has 3 other factories globally and they've got another one coming in Mexico and there'll be plenty more around the corner. Something like this, no big deal. I mean, it would suck, but actually not a big deal. And I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I've done the numbers. If you delete Shanghai, oh shit, that sucks. It's not actually a big deal. If this was their only factory, different story, but it's not. So all those people concerned about, what if this happens or that happens? Do the numbers, bro. See what happens if you delete an entire factory and go, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, I can sleep well at night after all. And an insight into how Tesla tries to scale up production at a new factory. Step 1, ramp, as in increase the production volume as fast as possible. Step 2, increase quality. And step 3, reduce costs. That's the sequence of events. And a final quote here, battles are won with tactics. Wars are won with logistics. And one of the most underappreciated aspects of Tesla by far is their capabilities with logistics. We saw this during the recent scamdemic-induced shutdowns, lack of supply of certain chips and so on. Tesla was the only company who didn't suck their thumb, cry in the corner and ask daddy to help, and instead dealt with it, continued to roll through production, adapted, and continued to scale up. This was an important insight. So in summary, Tesla, despite the economic headwinds and global turmoil, continues to absolutely slay it, remains on track for their long-term goals, is on the cusp of solving autonomy, while all investors seem to be focused on gross automotive margins this quarter or next and missing the bigger picture. And yes, I still continue to bat 1,000 pitches. Just a few final thoughts on Tesla licensing FSD. There is a reason it's been in my Tesla valuation model since day one, and I do encourage my long-term Patreon supporters, go check the very first version of the valuation model on your computer right now. It was that obvious that Tesla would license FSD to other companies in the future that it's been built into my valuation model from the outset. And the reason it's been included from the outset is because it makes such an enormous impact on Tesla financials. I highly encourage you, join Patreon, download a copy of the valuation model. It's only available to supporters at the investor level and above. Take a look at my assumptions, including the date this first happens, how much of an impact it has on Tesla's bottom line, and also what the rest of the decade looks like. Or just do the numbers yourself. But don't sleep on this. I cannot emphasize how much of an impact this will have on Tesla financials. It is, in essence, free money. Think about it like this. Global electric vehicle fleet times the number of vehicles in that fleet licensing FSD times whatever they're paying per month equals Tesla's absolutely ridiculous profits from FSD licensing. The fact that we now have confirmation that a large OEM is in the early stages having discussions with Tesla about licensing this very technology just confirms what I've assumed for years. And when the first company jumps on board, you're going to see the exact same shit that happened with supercharging access happen with FSD licensing. It's going to be an absolute pile-on. This is far and away the biggest takeaway from Tesla's earnings call. Who gives a shit about the gross automotive margins this quarter or next? I don't care. Licensing of FSD is the needle mover of needle movers. And I'm highly confident that most analysts on Wall Street will completely ignore this bombshell and just focus on gross automotive margins again. Their loss. In 6 words, who could have seen this coming? Obvious things are obvious. If you'd like to jump into the time machine, head over to Patreon, check out my valuation model, available to supporters at the investor level and above. Or you can wait a few years until the things that are in the valuation model actually get announced formally. It's up to you. Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. Certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it. You'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.